Test 1, 2. Alright, mic's hot. Pain is here. Mic's working. Video's working. So I'm going to read the news this time live. So if anybody wants to bitch at me in chat, tell me what a bad job I'm doing. Now's your chance. Got my olives. I got some water. And I'm ready to put you to sleep. Alright. I don't stream live that often, so it's going to be a lot of things go wrong, but it is what it is. So, alright, first things first, and I'm going to be checking the live broadcast of one of the YouTube channels that are covering the election. So I'll check that out every once in a while. Let me see if I can. Man, you know what? I'll just leave that alone. Just put that just like that. Put this just like this. Actually, no. Let me see if I can do something here. Well, this might work. This might work. Yeah. No, that's not really working. That's good enough. Alright. Okay, yeah, so I guess I'll start with tech news, and I will be like I said, every once in a while I'll go check out the this live broadcast of the election news. Let's look at that right real quick right now. Let me pause some music that I got playing. Hold on, because it's gonna loop back.
All descending on a decision about who gets to live there.
Let's go live.
I want to put up these photographs that I think really, in a way,
So,
capture the
I
essence
hate
of what we are
politics,
going
but
through right now. This
stuff, depending on who wins the election, dictates how the crazy people on this side and how the crazy people on that side are gonna respond and react and act. So it matters. So I guess it doesn't hurt to know who's going to be the president. I mean, I see pluses and minuses with both. Not to alienate anybody, but I see more minuses with one of them. But yeah, I don't really care too much about politics. But I will be checking that every once in a while. But I am going to, for now, get my calming music back on. And I'm going to look at the news here. Let me just check another thing. Alright. I'm gonna have to put this over here in case anybody wants to. Actually, I wonder if I should nah, don't worry about it. Let me do this. Alright. That should be good. Alright. So yeah, I got it set up so I can see if anybody wants to say anything to me. I'll be able to read the chat like that. Wish I had it better set up, but I don't. So, all right, let's see. I have been streaming already for a little bit, and I haven't gone over any news. So, let's begin. I'm gonna start with the tech news. Let's see. I'm gonna go over the tech news here. All right, looks like it's good. All right, tech news. Let's refresh. And let's see. This thing right here isn't gonna work out too well, but better than nothing. All right, let's refresh one more time. All right, tech power up, tech news. I haven't read the tech news since RDNA 2 parts were announced. They're not technically launched yet. I guess the NDAs and embargoes haven't been lifted, where actual reviews won't be out till November 18th, I think. But it's one of those things where already, I mean, I don't like to go by the manufacturer's numbers, but already by AMD's numbers, unless they're like blatantly lying, it already looks very promising. RDNA 2. Like I said, when Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, great YouTube channel if you've never been there before. Like I said during his stream, I was watching his stream when he covered he restreamed the AMD Zen 3 announcement, and I was more excited for the RDNA 2 announcement than the Zen 3 announcement, because with Zen 3 I knew what to expect. I knew it was going to have, of course, every architectural jump has an IPC gain, and it's going to be more refined. And I think this is also the same 7 nanometer node as Zen 2, but it still had vast improvements to IPC, to I think power, everything across the board, just improvements across the board. It just goes to show how good the engineers are there at AMD. Didn't have to change the fabrication process, and Zen 3 still kills Zen 2. So I knew to expect that. It's actually kind of turns out a little bit better than I thought from a technological standpoint, but probably a little bit worse than I thought because of the value, because the prices are a little higher than I would have liked. Like, what is it? A 5600 cost, 5600X cost $300. Granted, they came out with a 5600X. They didn't even announce a 5600 regular version, so the regular version will probably be cheaper. And like all AMD processors, as time passes by, the price usually fall to, how can I word this? They usually move to a price point that everyone, like the consumers, kind of agree on, they're comfortable with, while NVIDIA graphics cards and Intel CPUs kind of stay at some stingy, inflated high price. Seems like AMD's prices, they will go down. 3600X is not going to cost $300 in net by next summer. It probably will for a while, because all the other chips below it, like Zen, all the owners of Zen processors, Zen Plus processors, and Zen 2 processors, they're all good. So as long as they retain their popularity and they're selling, the Zen 3s will probably take longer to come down in price, but who knows? I could be wrong. Sorry, everybody knows I got pain issues, still sick. Fighting a good fight. So if you see me wince during the my idiot telling of the news, that's why. So yeah, I was more excited for RDNA 2's release, and RDNA 2 looks, although the 6800, the 6800 XT, and the 6900 XT are all high-end parts, and the cheapest one costs $580. That's not good. I'm not interested in video cards that cost that much, but why in the world? And when the 3070 was announced, it looked like a good deal because it's around the similar speeds as a 2080 Ti, which was like a $1,200 graphic card when it came out. Some ridiculous, it just doesn't matter. It's over $1,000. It's ridiculous. So the 3070 looked good for about a day, speed-wise, but as far as like future-proof, No way, man. Like a modern day card, especially a card for $500 or higher, with only 8 gigs of RAM. I think you'd be stupid to buy something like that. That's why I think the even a 3080 for $700 with 10 gigs of RAM is stupid. I mean, look, we have people who own RX 570s. Don't some RX 570s have 8 gigs of RAM? And I know RX 580s have 8 gigs of RAM. Even 5500 XTs have 8 gigs of RAM. So NVIDIA is really really stingy with the memory buffers. I don't like that. That's what I don't like about any of the Ampere cards. Like I said in some of my other videos, anyone who buys one of these, not a good move, because there's going to be a Super or TI revision. They already are working on it. They're already like canceling. I mean, they never really even. They were rumors, like the redos of the 3080 and the 3070 with double the memory. Those were just rumors, but they were technically canceled rumors or whatever. But it doesn't matter. You know they're still coming eventually. But like even the 3060 Ti is supposed to be announced soon. Like they're in damage control right now because RDNA 2 turned out to be better than they expected. But yeah, everyone who does a knee-jerk reaction and buys an early Nvidia card, you pay the price later. You're gonna have paid a lot of money for a card that has an out-of-date memory buffer and is not going to be as. And who knows? It might be fine if RDNA2 has is plagued by all the driver issues that AMD is famous for in GPUs, because in their CPU platform with their chipset drivers and stuff, they got it figured out as far as I'm concerned. I own a B450 chipset, and I know plenty of people that have AMD systems, and everything everything's fine for them. And but there's some people that have the GPUs 5700s and 5700 XT. Some people they have issues and they have problems, and people with overheating RX 580s and there's some other. I don't own any Radeon cards, and I haven't owned the Radeon card since. I mean, the music being played by my laptop back there has an ATI card in it, so it's pre-AMD takeover, hostile takeover of ATI. So yeah, that has an AMD card in it. I had to take out the 7900 GS, which is an NVIDIA G92 card. That failed. I pulled that out of my laptop, got a Radeon card on eBay, and I put it in there, and that turned my laptop from a doorstop back to a working laptop. So anyway, yeah, I said all that to my screen here. No one's watching this. All right, so on to the news. Let me do one more refresh. Just a real quick before, like I said, I'm gonna check periodically the stupid election stuff while I'm checking the tech news. So let me go to this Fox News. They have like this interactive map, I think. Let me see if I can find that again. And then they got the presidential results. It keeps crying about the ad blocker from Opera. Shut up. All right, so let's see. We got some New Hampshire results. Let me see if that's coming up for you guys. Mouse overs. New Hampshire. You know what? I should move this over here so I can see, get a better idea of what's going on. All right, so let's see. Let me see if you guys can make that out. All right, New Hampshire looks like they're going for Trump, 60% to 40%. I'm rounding. Kentucky, 51-47, favor Donald. Indiana, 63%. Now, the funny thing is, I'm looking at these results on Fox News, right? If I find an interactive map on stupidcnn.com, I bet you Joe Biden's running things over there. Yeah, look. Okay. I don't know if they have an interactive map. Let's see. Presidential projections. So the numbers here. See, for Kentucky, and Okay, that the Indiana on CNN has Trump in the lead. Do they have the Vermont? Oh, they don't even have the Vermont. Or yeah, so they don't have Vermont's results, but Fox does have. No, Fox has New Hampshire's results, but CNN doesn't have New Hampshire's results. So they're not going to be on the same page. You can't tell with the news these days. No one tells the news anymore. Everybody has an agenda. So all you're doing is comparing Fox News' bullshit to CNN's bullshit. That's all you're really doing. So that's what I'm going to be doing throughout the throughout my stupid live broadcast here. Just talking to myself. I'm going to check Fox's coverage and CNN's coverage and see see how they compare the two sides. And then every once in a while, I'll check in with
nationwide, especially across the Midwest and the Southwest.
this live stream.
That news came amid reports that White House coronavirus advisor Dr. Deborah Birx is warning of, quote, the most deadly phase yet.
The most deadly phase. Well, we all knew when winter came, it was going to get when it was going to get worse, right? But I don't know if we're dumber in the United States because people are contracting it faster, but didn't they just go through winter in South America? And I didn't hear about people dying left and right in Brazil, right? South America, they just had winter. Southern Hemisphere just had winter. Last I heard, it was spreading pretty good down there, but I didn't hear any catastrophic stuff. So sometimes I do take it serious. I do take COVID-19 and the coronavirus and all that stuff serious, but it's definitely being politicized. Whether it's bad or not, whether you believe it, I still think people who don't wear masks are dumb. And when I see people at the store and they're wearing the masks like this, they're not covering their nose and they're just doing it wrong. They're dumb. Like everybody needs to. I don't even know why I'm saying all this. Everybody has a different opinion on the mask stuff. So let's see. All right, let me go back to the tech news. Let me do one more refresh because I didn't even get into any of the tech news. So, all right, let's see. We got AMD Ryzen 5950X overclocked to 5.9 gigahertz. The processors may be a few days away from availability, but the overclocking records are already trickling out. Dark Lord posted a CPU-Z validation for a Ryzen 5950X 16-core processor overclocked to about 5.9 gigs. With all 16 cores and 32 threads enabled and dual-channel memory, it appears to be a straight-up multiplier overclock, with the multiplier set to 59 and a stock base clock. What's interesting, though, is the core voltage that this feat took a scorching 1.656 volts. Now, I don't overclock anymore, but doesn't it start to get scary when you get over 1.45? I don't know. Overclockers, if anybody watches this and you're an overclocker, you're still overclocking these days. I don't overclock anymore. With all these boost clocks and all that stuff, don't need to, but that sounds pretty damn high. Other components included the Asus ROG Crosshair 8 Impact X570 motherboard, dual channel DDR 3600 memory, and basic. Well, they went with some feeble graphics because they were just a straight overclock on the CPU. So, all right, that's great. I don't overclock and I air cool everything, so that makes no difference to me. Let me just check something. All right. ADAS Spectrix D550 Extreme clocked to 5400 megahertz on a gigabyte motherboard. I guess high memory speeds is still a good thing if you're using a processor that doesn't need to traverse the infinity fabric. But most people who do have processors that have the cores on with different CCXs and stuff, if you have an infinity fabric to deal with, I still just say keep it simple and do 3600 megahertz. But if you have a processor where that's not a problem, get the fastest RAM you can, right? Let's see. They don't have any pictures of the RAM. Let's see. Full story. Let's go to full story. And just people talking. What does this guy say? So, factory OC your RAM and throw in a special prettied up box. Jack up the price by 2 to 3 times and call it a day. Great plan for boosting the bottom line. This is the guy who complains about the USB-C headers on premium motherboards. So I respect his opinion. He doesn't let anybody slide. I like that. I love consumers that don't defend companies, that don't allow them to get away with bullshit. That's why in so many of my videos you hear me complain about NVIDIA. Yes, I have an NVIDIA graphics card, and I like my NVIDIA graphics card, but I still hate NVIDIA. All that money, all that greed, they always get you some way. All right, next news item. Gigabyte announces Aorus Extreme GeForce RTX 30 series Waterforce graphics card. I don't water cool. That costs too much money. And as far as I could tell, even with the high numbers as far as watts being drawn by the Ampere cards, the Founders Edition and all the third-party cards, if you look at the reviews and read the numbers, they're all good temperatures. So cooling's good enough. You don't need to water cool. I mean, they're all the air cooled ones. They're boosting up 2 gigahertz, and everything's fine as long as you don't go too high and you have a capacitor issue. Remember the whole capacitor debacle? You're just overclocking too high, right? Man, I just made a couple of videos just commenting on that, man. The amount of hate, just commenting on some of the things, man. The amount of people coming, you don't know what you're talking about. Maybe I don't. Who gives a fuck? Excuse my language. So yeah, I don't really care about water cooling too much. People were water cooling their system memory back before the system memory was even that hot. And I mean, if you water cool wrong, like I'm just looking at my computer right here. If you water cool wrong, let's say you have like your AIO or CLC, whatever you want to call it. You have that block on your CPU, and you see that nice cool temperature being reported on your CPU, but you have no airflow in your case, and your computer's still crashing because your VRMs are just out of control hot because there's no air blowing over them. Water cooling is not the end all be all. It has to be. I mean, the whole inside of a case is an ecosystem, so you got to take everything into account. But what do I know? You know, I say pay $30-$40 for a good air cooler. I mean, maybe you could think of water cooling or getting a huge air cooler if you have a very, very high TDP CPU. But I don't know. Air cooling's fine for me, especially ones that don't have. I don't like air coolers that have a proprietary fan. So I like Arctic Cooling's coolers, but the last one that they came out with has a fan that looks like it's not like a standard 140 millimeter or 120 millimeter fan that has the 25 millimeter fan depth, like any standard fan that you can just replace on a cooler. That's the way to go. Anything proprietary. I hate proprietary RGB connections. I hate all things proprietary. It's stupid. It limits what you can do. If you have a cooler like that and the fan has ball bearings problems, you're gonna have to look for your warranty papers, right? Fuck that. Just get another fan for $10, a quality fan for $10, and put it on there. All right, next news item. Lenovo delivers record results fueled by strong Q2 growth. You know me from if you watched any of my other news. Sometimes I just skip right over these. Some company reports their quarterly earnings. If it's not affecting me directly, I don't care. Lenovo, make your money. I mean, if I wanted to go to a business and financial, I like technology. I'm not heavy into. If I was heavy into business and finances, if I was smart enough to be into all that, I want to be poor and have nothing, and I would have stuff. I'd be doing a lot better. But I'm just here to read the technology, so don't care about Lenovo's Core-2 growth. I mean, I'll care about certain companies that are like relevant to, like if I see AMD's getting good revenue and stuff, I'm hopefully I'm hoping that falls down to us, like I'm hoping like if a company like if they move to a lower fabrication process, right? Like they're supposed to fit more CPUs per wafer, it's supposed to be cheaper for them, like the real estate on the wafer. But that never seems to correlate into lower prices for us. That's what I hope for, but never seems to be the case. So yeah, all right. Next up, AMD Ryzen 5 5600X Cinebench scores leak. Let me just check something, make sure everything's working okay, because I do make a lot of mistakes. Audio, desktop audio. My desktop audio working properly. Let's do a quick check. Let's let this lady talk.
Three.
All right. They're gabbing over there. All right. Just a quick sound and video check. Time for some water. And an olive. It's on my extremely short list of foods that I can eat with all these health problems. All right. AMD Ryzen 5 5600X Cinebench scores. Looks like somebody benched this in a couple of different versions of Cinebench. I don't know what the benefits are of doing it on all the different versions. Wouldn't you want to just do it on the latest version? But let me see. Single core scores. Do they have any other processors to compare these to? I mean, if the single core scores are better than the fast or close to corresponding Intel processors, that's just a good thing. I wouldn't recommend the Intel platform over the AMD platform. And if excuse me, if AMD really does have higher IPC than Intel now, you'd be crazy to buy any Intel stuff. Right now, you'd get a motherboard. There's no sense buying PCI Express Gen 4 NVMe drives because you won't be able to use it on, to my knowledge, the latest Intel chipset. What else? What are the other? I guess that's one of the only really bad things about the Intel platform. I mean, it's not bad stuff. It just costs a lot of money and it's not as flexible. Still good stuff, but I think it does run hotter. I know some people say, well, the latest stuff that came out. I don't know. I'd have to be like one of those big tech YouTubers, and actually, that's one of the beautiful things about tech YouTubers. Even though a lot of them I don't like and I don't agree with, and a lot of them I do like that I do agree with. They have the hardware, they have the parts, they get to test it. You don't always have to have something in hand to be able to decide if it's good or not. You can do your research and stuff, but it does help to have hands-on experience with something. So they have that. So when you find somebody that you trust and they have it in house, you get a good idea of if it's good or not. But yeah, I guess we're gonna get to see the real numbers on these November 18th. That's in 2 weeks about on the Zen 3 parts. But from what I see so far, they look like they're gonna be really good. They're gonna be really good. And if even the little pinch of benefit you get with the direct memory thing, the what is it? If you have a 500 series chipset and you have a Zen 3 processor and you throw in one of those RDNA 2 cards, the Zen 3 processor is supposed to have like direct access to the GPU's frame buffer, direct access to the memory on the graphics card, and that's supposed, I forget what they call it. What does AMD call that? I think in one of the there's probably a news post that talks about it. I'll get back to that. I'll probably find it because I can't remember anything. I have a very bad memory. All right, so next, Apple could unveil ARM-powered MacBooks on November 10th. Wow, already? Are we gonna have ARM RISC processors in laptops already? Apple late Monday sent out a public invite to an online launch event dated November 10th without revealing what it is. With new generation iPhones and watches and iPads already announced, it's likely that the November 10th event could deal with Macs, specifically the company's first MacBooks powered by non-Intel processors since the company embraced x86 some decades and a half ago. But what was IBM's Power PC if not x86? I don't know. Does anybody know? Leave a comment if you know what kind of architecture the Power PCs that Apple used to use in their systems. If anybody knows like what the architecture was for those IBM processors, because I would imagine they were x86, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so move on from that. UL benchmarks updates 3D Mark with ray tracing feature test. That's gonna be bad for I think AMD's still playing catch up for ray tracing. So we'll learn more November 18th when the reviewers have the cards in hand and they actually do ray tracing tests. We'll be able to see exactly how far behind AMD is behind NVIDIA with ray tracing. But yeah, we gotta wait to find out. So, all right, Raspberry Pi 400 compact keyboard computer announced for $70. $70 for a keyboard? Wait a second. Keyboard computer based on. Oh, wait a second. It's a keyboard and it has a computer inside. It has a Raspberry. Okay. Let's look at these pictures. It looks like it's a computer chassis, and it just has a keyboard on top. It's like a laptop without a. It's like a laptop without a display. So you got your Ethernet right here. You got remember all my streams, creaky chair. I got the creaky chair. You got looks like maybe that. I guess that's a USB 2, USB 3, or USB 3.1. Unsure. Power 2. Is that 2 USB Cs? Card reader. What? This big parallel looking cable. That's. I don't know what that's for. Does it tell you what it's for? Read full story. Let's do it. SD card, HDMI cable, official Raspberry Pi beginner's guide. Tell me what that big connection is. I give up. It's for something. NVIDIA reportedly delays RTX 3060 Ti launch to December. Alright. So how much is that going to cost? Doesn't matter. It's still gonna cost a lot of money, and it's still gonna have only 8 gigs of RAM. So And you know it's going to cost over $400. So what's to get excited about? It's like, that's what I don't get excited when a video comes out and stuff. It's going to cost, it's going to be a good fast video card, but you're going to pay for it. It's going to cost over $400 and have 8 gigs of RAM. What's to get excited about? You should have more than 8 gigs of RAM when you pay over $400 in this generation. My card costed a lot of money and it has 8 gigs of RAM. But Turing's been out for what, like 2 years now? It's time to move up. Everybody's not like me with 1080p here. A lot of people that actually are doing well. They have 1440p displays and all that stuff. They need more memory. All right. Yamaha announces 20. Oh, I like this. Has an integrated USB-C dock. I wish all monitors had something like this, because that would be more incentive for more people to have a supplementary laptop, like not just have their desktop computer, but that's convenient to just have when you bring your laptop home and just dock it and have a big screen like that. Like my friend, he just bought a nice Asus Tough Gaming laptop, and yeah, the first day he got it, he hooked it up to one of his TVs, because I mean, it's nice. He has a 144 hertz refresh rate screen on his laptop, but it's still a little 15-inch screen, so you need something bigger. But yeah, laptop's convenient when you're on the go. But yeah, he got a nice laptop. Shout out to my friend with his brand new laptop. We were updating it to the latest version of Windows and going over all the specs and all that stuff. Fun. Okay, Watchdog Legion benchmark test format, some game test. Don't care. Green Leon. All right, let me take a break real here and let's see if there's any. Let me turn off the classical music for a second, and let's see what they're talking about. The dumb election stuff. Let's update the election stuff.
We've had this huge early voting, and how many of those at the end of the night, if it's a close result, how many of those will people say are still out there yet to come in? Because we know from past elections, not everyone who requests an absentee ballot fills it out and sends it back in. And I think there'll be a big argument over how many of those are still out that we're going to be waiting on. That'll be an interesting point to me.
No question. And to Minnesota, to Patricia Lopez, it's I guess in a way the mirror opposite. This is a state that Hillary Clinton won, but only by a narrow margin, Patricia, in 2016, and there has been an effort by the Trump campaign to try to take it away from the Democrats. What does it look like to you?
So it says Georgia 61%,
it's said to be
Biden,
toward
and it was like
Trump,
much lower for Trump.
Heavily on just a monster turnout on northern Minnesota's Iron Range, which is mining country.
Right.
That has been trending Republican in recent years,
although
it was a CFL Democratic stronghold.
Check in with the election people.
Big numbers out of there.
The live stream here from
what's perceived to be a very
PBS in a few. Let's see what the crazy people on the interactive map are saying on Fox, complaining about my ad blocker. All right, so Virginia, all for Trump, but why is it blue? I thought blue meant Democrats. I don't know. 58% Donald Trump, 40% Biden. Kentucky, Trump over Biden. South Carolina, Trump over Biden. Damn, big difference. Georgia, Biden over Trump. Florida, Biden over Trump. And let's see, this is CNN. Let's refresh their interactive map. I wonder if their servers are getting hammered. It's taking a little while to load. And my internet's not too bad usually. I don't have a lot of throughput, but I usually have good latency. My video card was like, shut up. Did you hear my video card rev up? Where's the interactive map? Let's go back to their homepage. All right, let's go to the interactive map. I can't refresh the interactive map. Silly CNN can't do anything right. All right, so yeah, CNN's being a bitch. Won't let me check their interactive map. I'll try it again in a few. So one more look at these people.
So what are you thinking? What are you hearing right now? We've been hearing the Trump people feel very good about what they're seeing. What about the Biden
Trump
folks?
people feel very good.
Well, they must be looking at something very different than what we're seeing, which is actual data. And what we're seeing is very strong turnout in the key states. I think there's every reason to think that we are doing extremely well in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, the key states that can flip the election to Joe Biden. And also,
that's what I mean. It's all bullshit. You get numbers, and then one side go, "Well, those numbers obviously aren't right," and then if the numbers are different to what the other side doesn't like it, well, those numbers. No one gives a shit about the actual numbers and the truth. They just care about, like I said, it's just like two sides in this country. None of them cares about truth. They all just care about. Not everybody on both sides, you know what I mean? It's just like it's all so much propaganda and bullshit. There's such a shortage of honest people in this country. But whatever. All right, back to the tech news and back to the classical music. All right. Sampling energy efficient, DRAMless NVMe, M.2, 2280, Armor. Oh, they spell Armor the European way. I don't like that. And DRAMless NVMe drives are worse, so I'd rather have the good stuff. I mean, they're all good, but doesn't it give you a little help if you have DRAM? I don't do enough research on NAND storage because really once you get a NAND drive, whether it's 2.5 NVMe or SATA, it doesn't matter. It's all so much better and faster than mechanical drives. It's just all the added speed. It's just a bonus unless you're a person who uses huge amounts of storage and does huge amounts of writes. I guess that's when it really, really matters. But for your everyday people, just get an SSD, and especially if it's got using the NVMe protocol, it's usually fast enough. But hey, if you want the very best, get one with DRAM on it. Get one that's MLC if you can, TLC if you need to save some money, and QLC if you want the trash. EK launches new model block for Republic of Gamers Maximus 12. So many, damn. All right, who cares? Another water block. Windows product keys, license keys, some shit, install keys, whatever. HyperX releases solo cast USB microphone. Now my microphone really sucks. One of these days, if somebody will hire my sick ass and I get a job with benefits so I can continue to see the doctor until if I get better, maybe I could look into try to get a new microphone to see if it sounds better than what I have now. Because I use a microphone that has a 3.5 millimeter connector, or 1/8 inch, right? And there's certain options when you have an analog connection for a microphone that you don't have when you connect via USB. But one thing, when you have a USB microphone, I think one thing that you get to avoid is the copper from your microphone to the back of your, or wherever you plug it into your computer. For example, right? Microphone. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can flip you guys around. All right. Microphone. Let me see. Am I doing this right? Yeah, microphone. And then it goes to the back of your computer, you know, and it's an analog connection. That analog connection is at the mercy of so much electromagnetic interference. You know, it's running past all these other cables, and look at mine's even close to. It's not too far from the Wi-Fi, the built-in Wi-Fi on my well, that wasn't even the right. There we go. That's the right orientation. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say, and I'm doing a really poor job of saying it, is your analog. Let me see. Do I have this the proper right hand? Oh, there we go. Sorry about all that. Your if your mic's connected to your computer analog, you're gonna get you could get a lot of noise and interference on your mic input. And with the USB, I think the audio processing where it goes from your voice analog and it gets changed to digital happens before it goes along the USB cable. And I'm all theorizing this on logic. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. I didn't research any of this. I don't practice before I talk on the internet, before I talk to people who are, oh, we'll say this so I sound smart. No, I'm pretty sure that that's how it goes, and occasionally you can have interference on your analog mic, whereas with a USB mic, it's the same thing. If you have a long run, back when we had RGB cables or with a D-sub connector, we call them VGA cables, right? That's an analog connection for your display. And or you can have a long ass HDMI cable where it's binary, it's zeros and ones going across it's digital. If your HDMI connection makes it across that long run, it'll be a nice clean image. It almost usually works or it doesn't work. Sometimes it can be a little pixelated if the run's too long. You can have issues and stuff. But like your analog, if you do with a VGA cable, even if you went beyond like a 10-footer, you'd see on the screen how blurry and like it looks terrible. It looks terrible. So like long story short, there's advantages to doing digital over analog. I mean, analog's the real world, and digital's just a sampling of the real world. But I worded that all poorly. Long story short, maybe a USB microphone would be a good thing for me to try in the future to see if less interference that an analog mic can pick up in its wires travel from the mic to the computer. It's next to power cables, my Ethernet cable. What else? Like I said, my antenna for my Wi-Fi, my internal Wi-Fi. My motherboard has a built-in Wi-Fi solution, AC. Right? My router's right there, wireless G. So you can make fun of that too. That's how old my router is. What else? Anything else? Shooting Wi-Fi, EMI around? I don't know. Maybe the ballast on this fluorescent light that I have on right now. I don't know. But anyway, I just rambled like an idiot. Let me go to the next thing. We were looking at the mic. How about some water? let's read the full story. Fuck it. Excuse my language again. Availability, power supply, 5 volts, 100 milliamps. Working current, 47 milliamps. USB specification, USB 2. Sampling rates, all your standard sampling rates. Bit depth. Cable length, 2 meters. 2 meters, that's about 6 feet, I'd say. The weight. Ooh, $60. Yeah, I'd have to, I'd have to make some money to be able to try stuff like that, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. So let's move on to the next thing. Arctic announces the liquid freezer 2 420 all-in-one liquid CPU cooler. Hey, finally, a radiator that uses, this is the first time I've ever seen a radiator with 3 140s on it. So is this something new? Has anybody else seen a radiator with 340 millimeter fans on it? This is the first one that I've ever seen. So that certainly would not fit in my case in the top or the front or anywhere. I have a Meshify C, not the Mini and not the S2, that S2 Meshify version. I have the regular mid tower, and this thing would definitely not fit in here in any way at all. So you would need a big ass case to put this in it. And how much does this thing cost? And I bet you it cools really well. Let's see. The pump block features a tiny 40 millimeter fan. That sucks. That's got to defeat the purpose of all the noise that the large 140 fans should prevent you from hearing on the radiator. But then you have a little buzzer on the pump block. Why? The pump's impeller does 800 to 2000 RPM. I think it has something to do with the way they do a lot of AIOs and CLCs. I think there's a lot of patenting issues. So they have to do specific things to get around the. I forget which company has a lot of the patents for the. I forget which YouTuber they explain it. They explain all the routes the companies go to get around the patents that. I forget which company has the rights to it, but if I can't remember, I'm not relaying any useful information to anybody. I'm just saying I can't remember. So, welcome to my channel. It's full of useless information and most of the time no information at all. All right, G-Skill releases dual layer transparent crystal crown keycap upgrade set. Let's take a look. Let me see something. Make sure, see if this is looking okay for everybody. I mean, that looks cool. Okay, so I guess because it has a transparent bottom layer is transparent, I guess that lets more light out and it makes you feel more happy. I don't know. Crystal crown. Okay. Intel Rocket Lake CPU. Oh, I always love it when watch Intel try and claw their way out of the pit. Intel Rocket Lake S CPU benchmarked up to 22% faster compared to the previous generation. Now I heard, and let's see if they corroborate that in this. I heard that they're throwing more power at these things to get those results. Did they say anything about that here? Besides the new core, there are other features of the platform like PCI Express 4, the new XE graphics, and updated media codecs. You can check that out here. Hey man, if Intel's going to react strongly to AMD that's good for all of us, because if you watch my channel, you know I've said in my other videos that I used to be, make sure my classical music's still going, it keeps me calm. Listen to that. But back in the old days, I always used AMD processors. And when there was like Pentium 3 was faster. And then the Athlons came out, and then I preferred the Athlons. And then the Core processors came out. I preferred the well, I can't remember if Core 2 came out or AMD 64 came out, but I liked AMD 64, and then I liked the Core 2 processors from Intel. So hey, if Intel wants to be on top of AMD again, if they become not only the better option but the overall better value, as much as I like you, Lisa Sue, I'd be buying Intel stuff. Everybody should. I'm not on AMD's side. I'm not on Intel's side. I'm on our side. All of us who work hard as we can and spend our hard-earned money on this stuff. I care about the value we get. I don't care about their margins, their quarterly earnings, or anything like that. If something good happens for those companies, and I know it's going to trickle down to us in a good way, that's fine. But if there's Intel's doing good or AMD's doing good, and that doesn't correspond to good value for us, then I don't give a shit how good they're doing. But yeah, if Intel's going to have a strong response to AMD like they did with Core 2 Duo and be the best again, more power to them. But they better do something, man, because Lisa Sue, she's the boogeyman, like to Intel and even Nvidia. They're just like, this lady, they're like, we gotta put a bounty on this lady, get rid of her, because she's turned that company around so much, man. I don't know what it is. She must be real nasty behind the scenes, or maybe she's just super smart, which she seems like she's super smart. I think she's a micro-architecture engineer or something like that. So she's definitely not just a manager. She's a thinker. So she's double dangerous. And she seems likable. I like Lisa Sue. MSI GeForce RTX 3080 Supreme X, because it's MSI. It has to have gaming in the name, or has to have X, or a stupid name like Ventus or Supreme. So I like MSI's products, and I've said it in some of my other videos. I mean, I have. Let's do another bad job of looking around the looking around again. So water, get out of the way, water. So yeah, if you watched my other videos, hold on, let's turn the lights on. Yeah, I have an MSI motherboard. I don't know if you can see that on the chipset. It says MSI. I think you can see that. But I have an MSI video card. So yeah, man, look at that. Are you gonna focus? Finally. So yeah, I like MSI parts. But man, MSI's been doing so much stuff lately. And I'm not just talking about the shady stuff with YouTube. Everything, just like the stupid naming scheme. Their website sucks. The $500 video cards with graphene backplates, if they want to call it that. That's not a graphene backplate. It's a plastic backplate, MSI. Somebody pays 500. Oh man, I'm gonna have to get more water soon. Somebody pays $500 for a hold on, let me just check something. Somebody pays $500 for a video card. Give them do like Asus and give them a metal backplate. Anyway, here's a picture of the first MSI RTX 3080 Supreme X graphics card in its retail packaging, courtesy of somebody. MSI is debuting its Supreme line of graphic card with the RTX 30 series, a custom design lineup, possibly positioned between Gaming X and Ventus lines. Oh, so they're getting rid of armor? I have an armor card. I just showed you. I know a lot of people that like computer parts. They probably recognize the armor. I like the armor cards. I like the white and black. Looks like they're not going to do armor. That sucks. I don't know why they don't have armor theme. They have armor themed video cards and like these Ventus themed video cards. Why would you have similarly themed motherboards? Like they have the Edge motherboards and they have the Carbon motherboards, but they don't have a corresponding like video card. Why wouldn't that be cool if you're like, doesn't Asus have Strix motherboards and Strix video cards? Why is MSI so mixed up? They do so many things good and they do so many things bad. They're so inconsistent and stupid. I hate MSI. I like MSI, but I hate MSI. But all right, AMD releases. This is the thing that I was trying to remember before. The thing, if you have a 500 series chipset and you have a Zen 3 processor and you have the RDNA 2 video card, you get the benefits from, what is it called? AMD Smart Access Memory. AMD Smart Access Memory is the thing that's it gives your Zen 3 CPU direct access to the video card's VRAM. So I guess that's a benefit to having an all AMD system. But it's always been the case of one of the non-benefits to having an all AMD system is you get to deal with all of the Radeon driver problems. So if the same way they've got good stuff, AMD, but the same way they've taking that IPC crown away from Intel, that leaves Intel like, oh man, that was our thing. Now we don't have that either. Once AMD rests the driver issues, NVIDIA is going to be like, man, their cards are competing with us, and they've sorted out the driver issues too. That was our thing. We had the advantage. Everyone liked our thermals and our efficiency better, and if AMD could match NVIDIA or beat NVIDIA with efficiency, which I think they might be doing with RDNA 2, but we'll see because NVIDIA is using 8 nanometers from Samsung. We'll see when the TSMC stuff comes out, so they're at that disadvantage. But as it stands right now, RDNA 2 seems to have them matched in performance, efficiency, and if they could get the driver thing straightened out too, that's it. That's where NVIDIA is really going to be in trouble. And it should be the case. I don't know if it is the case, but it should be the case where consumers should be. I mean, everybody doesn't have to think like me, but consumers should be, with all the shit that NVIDIA's pulled over the years, people should be yearning to leave NVIDIA. Just like people want. I wish everything worked on Linux so I could leave Windows and use Linux. So many people there. I want to get off Intel for so long. Thank you, AMD. People probably want to get away from NVIDIA too, man. Like if you live in a place where you're stuck with Comcast ISP, people want to get off that, man. People want an alternative from companies that have treated them poorly. And Billy K. Is that Billy K from? Hold on, I actually had somebody message me. Is that Billy K from Mike's Hardware? I mean, Mike's Hardware. Mike's Unboxing. Oh, he must have left. So, oh yeah, it is. Oh, he's there. Yeah, Billy K from Mike's Unboxing. Yeah, he's a snob like Oleta Liano. He has all these good computer parts that are faster and better than mine. And every time I'm talking about computer hardware, I get to hear about his good stuff. But it's nice to see you, man. Thanks for watching, man. Thanks for watching my dumb stream. What is your can you tell me a little bit of your hold on, let me bring you over to my screen here. can you tell me a little bit about what your specs are, so I can tell everybody how much better your specs are than mine? If you don't mind. If you don't want to, it's okay. I know there's a delay too, probably. When I ask a question, you probably get it like 10-15 seconds later, but I don't know how bad the delay is on my stream. Let me see. Snap, snap, snap. About 10 seconds. About 10 seconds. All right, so... All right. Not really getting any feedback from Billy, so I'm going to continue telling the news. So here I was reading about the RDNA. I'll check every once in a while, see if Billy wants to gloat about his superior computer specs. But in the meantime, let's look at these graphs. 6900 XT, which is, how much does that card cost again? Oh, $1,000 that card costs. So yeah, it's fast and it's good, but it also costs $1,000, so no thank you. But I do like the look. That still cost a lot of money. But Billy put his specs up, but I'll get to that in a second. But it says here the 6800. I know this card costs $580, and that's for the AMD versions. I guess November 18th rolls around, we'll get to see how much the cards really cost, because I'm more interested in the third-party versions of the cards than like NVIDIA's Founder Edition. What an ugly thing with the 12 pin in the middle of the card. And anyway, let's see what Billy got. Billy got Billy got a lot of stuff. That he's got a 3900X, which that's a Zen 2 part. That is 12 cores. That's like one of the best bang for buck. I think I don't know how much it costs now, but I remember it costed around $430 US, and the XT version of it costed around $500. I'd say the 3900X was still a better deal than the 3900 XT, because it's just as fast, and the 5700 XT is probably the best bang for buck before Ampere and RDNA 2. And if you weren't having driver issues, the 5700 XT probably would be your best bet. I was actually weighing between a 5700 and a 5700 XT and a 2060 Super. I went to 2060 Super just because I was scared of all the pending driver issues with AMD. He also has 32 gigs of Corsair memory at 3600. He's smart. He went to he matched 1-for-1 with the Infinity Clock, so he knows what he's doing. He's got a 1 terabyte NVMe Gen 4, of course, because he has all good shit. Leon Lee, the 011X, and a 280 millimeter Arctic, which is probably one of the best AIO coolers you could get. One of those Arctic AIOs. And he says he's got his eye on a 6800 XT and a 5900X, because I guess what he has already isn't fast enough. But he already has an X570 motherboard. So if he gets a Zen 3 processor, he has his eye on a Zen 3 processor and a 6800 XT. When he has that, he'll be able to utilize this right here. He'll be able to utilize the AMD Smart Access Memory feature, where his 5900X will have direct access to the video RAM on his what is that on his wish list? The 6800 XT, which should cost around $650. But that would be a badass system. But he already has a really fast system, so. Hey, but Billy must be working hard for his money, and he deserves it. He's a really nice guy. All the people on Mike's Unboxing YouTube channel, if you've never been there, go check it out. I go on his Discord sometimes. It's mostly people from Europe. I'm like one of the only people from the United States on there. But everybody's real nice to me. Everybody's informative. They help other people. Nobody there has a big, stupid ego. Even Mike, the guy who everyone adores, everyone kind of likes him because he's just like an everyday guy and stuff. He has no ego. He doesn't thump his chest and try and act bigger and better than anybody else. He treats people the same way I treat people. Hey, you're just the same as me until you show me I'm better than you. You know what I mean? But yeah. So yeah, Mike, Billy K, man, thanks for watching my lame stream. I don't know how you got here or why you're watching, but yeah, man, thanks for checking it out. Let me go back to the news. I don't want to go too long because everybody who watches these readings of the news by me, you should be asleep by the first 20 minutes. I mean, that's what these are for, to help people fall asleep. Because there's no good information. Oh man, I want to get some cold water. I don't have any cold water though. I have room temperature water. I should go get some water. I'm running out. I'm running low on water. Look at that. All right. Samsung's 5nm node in production. Well, I hope it turns out to be better than their 8nm process, but we will see. Samsung, one of the few companies that has their own fab. What Intel does their own, Samsung does their own. TSMC, Global Foundries. I think there's another one that also does their own silicone, but I can't remember who it is. But anyway, yeah, they do their own stuff. Control Ultimate Edition. All right, Billy, man. Thanks for checking in, man. Yes, I'll catch up with you soon too. I'll see you on the Discord. Thanks, buddy. That's a cool guy. I'm pretty sure he's from Europe too. I think he's from Europe. Can't be 100% sure, but most of the gang over there, they're from Europe. But that was nice of him to check in. All right, Manly announces its GeForce RTX 30 series graphics cards. Let's take a look. Not that I'm interested in 3070s with the announcement. It's hard to be. It's hard to be interested in Intel stuff with all the AMD stuff that's out, and with RDNA 2 being out now. My interest in Ampere, especially with these paltry, how you say it, VRAM offerings. Man, what a ripoff! What a ripoff! But this looks like a very generic card, but that's what you get for $500 these days, man. I don't know, for $500 you should get a metal backplate. It should come with RGB. It should come with, I mean, I don't care if it's the low end of your Ampere stack. It's a $500 video card. It's $500. It's a lot of money, man. These companies, man, they're getting away with murder. All right, Intel storms into 1080p with the mobile Xe mobile GPU, and I'm not gonna read this right now because I'm not too interested, because it's gonna pick up momentum. We'll learn more about it. But from what I've read, a little bit that I read about it, let me minimize something real quick. It's actually not that bad. So good for Intel. I mean, as much as I don't care for Intel, I am rooting for them to, and I'm rooting for anyone who wants to get into the discrete graphics market, because having to, like, when I was younger, well, you had Nvidia, ATI, Voodoo existed for a little while, Matrox existed for a while. You got like two choices now. I liked it better when you had, like, even these days you get two choices for chipsets: a chipset that Intel made and a chipset that AMD made. Back then, you could get an SIS chipset, you could get a VIA chipset, you could get an AMD chipset, you could get an Intel chipset. There was probably even other companies that made chipsets that I can't even remember. But more choices is better. The more competition you have, the more people they dictate prices. Another water block. Don't care. Logitech partners with Riot Games to unveil League of Legends co-branded gaming PC peripherals. Okay. NVIDIA bundles Call of Duty Black Ops with RTX 3080 and 3090s. I guess if you want that game, I guess that's fine. BioStar introduces the new B450MX motherboard. All right, gotta read the comments here because I love when people make fun of BioStar because it's funny. Come on, comments load. Oh, there we go. Looks very nice as long as price is competitive. I have the Racing X570. BIOS is awful. VRM's not bad though. Overall, wouldn't recommend. That's a thumbs down from a BioStar user. I didn't know BioStar still exists. Need to know performance. Actually, their boards have had good reviews in recent years. BioStar got to build a reputation before I would even dare. Like, I won't even buy an ASRock motherboard or any. I don't want to buy anything from ASRock. I mean, usually can't go wrong with a video card, but like even an ASRock video card, like if you get a video card with RGB, wouldn't you want to be able to control it with your motherboard's RGB software? So if you get a MSI motherboard, you're probably gonna want an MSI video card. That's another thing that's annoying. When I was talking about before about standards and proprietary stuff, there should be a universal RGB controller on all motherboards. People shouldn't have to. If you get an Asus video card that has RGB on it, you should be able to control it on any motherboard's RGB controller, onboard RGB controller. You shouldn't have to have an Asus. I know why they do it, and it's for money, but it's stupid. And the only way to change it would be if consumers united. But consumers never unite. Let these companies do whatever they want. G-Skill announces extreme low latency DDR4 3600 cache latency 14 64 gigabyte memory kit. Nice. Oh, so they come in RGB. This weird looking thing. This looks the same as that. What's the difference between the Neo and the? Oh, this one has multicolored heat spreader. I don't know. IP theft. UMC pleads guilty to U.S. court charges of trade secret theft. Faces $60 million fine. Ooh. VR, Oculus. I don't care about VR at all. Call of Duty Black Ops system requirements. I don't care about the game, but let's see the system requirements. Nothing special. Oh damn, you gotta have to have a 3700X or a i9 9900K if you want to use the Ultra RTX experience. That's rough. I'm not up to those speeds. But that's if you want ray tracing. It says RTX experience, right? Ray tracing, ray tracing. Ray tracing does look cool if it's done right. The cool thing I like about ray tracing is if there's like a car in a scene, and in most games, unless it was artificially recreated, with ray tracing on, and if there's like a puddle of water under the car, technically if the light's hitting a certain way, you should see the reflection of like an enemy or something on the other side of the car through the puddle. Like if the car's high enough off the ground, you know, like something that's got an elevated chassis, like a bus or something, like a school bus or something like that, where you can actually walk under it if you want. I don't even know if I explained that right. If you can visualize it, you know, the reflection goes off the water, and yeah. AMD in talks with partners about custom Radeon RX 6900 XT designs. Shouldn't they have been in talks about that for a long time? I mean, were they only going to let AMD make the 6900 XTs? I mean, even NVIDIA has all these all these other people making 3090s. Why wouldn't you want to have like an Asus 6900 XT? I don't know. That doesn't matter. That's a card I would never pay for anyway. I'd rather get like Billy wants a 6800 XT or a 6800. They sound better to me. And he sounds like if he's thinking about getting an RDNA 2 card, he said he has a 5700 XT. That means he probably experienced no issues with it at all. With his, the adrenaline drivers. He probably knows what he's doing and has no problems. So he's one of those people that's not scared to go AMD for GPU. So good on him. So he's going to benefit from having the whole AMD platform if he gets those parts he's talking about, because he already has the X570 motherboard. And it's an Aorus Master, which out of... Oh no, the X570 Aorus Master, I don't know about that one, but I know the B550 version of the Aorus Master has by far the best VRM on all the B550 boards. But I don't know how the X570 version of that board stacks up, but it's probably good. It's good as well. So let's see, Sapphire, reference design 6800 XT and 6800. Yeah, just your basic looking video card. Oh, the music stopped. So that's going to give me a chance to look at the stupid election stuff. Let's see what's going on.
Fact that President Biden would be the oldest president to take office were he to win tonight.
Biden. Let me get some water while you guys listen to these
he had to give some
people
signal
talk.
to people younger than himself, which is most of the country, which I think is one reason why Elizabeth Warren, who was fairly close to Biden in age, was a non-starter. But I also think that there was another kind of unity. Remember that during the first debate, Kamala Harris had come on Biden on the busing issue very, very hard. I was that little girl. And while she wasn't the most progressive candidate in the field, that was Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, there was a signal, I think, to the more progressive Democrats that was going in a different direction, that Kamala Harris represented a new voice in the party, someone who had not been represented on the ticket before. And I think we'll find out tonight whether or not that paid off in terms of who turned out to vote and whether a larger turnout from non-whites may have made the difference in some critical states.
Well, she certainly wasn't the most progressive option, but she might bring new voters under the Democratic tent. Jeff Greenfield.
And she's Asian and she's wearing yellow. She is lending to the stereotype. Right? Remember the Power Rangers? The Asian Power Ranger was wearing yellow. And the Black Ranger was wearing black. All right. Pause that. Let's turn back on my classical music. Oh, I don't know if that qualifies as classical music. Let me wrap this up. Let's see. Let's pound out a little bit more news, and then I'll probably stop yapping soon. And then see how many dislikes I got. All right, let's look at here. We got Vermont, Joe Biden. New Hampshire, Joe Biden. MA, I'm assuming is Massachusetts, right? Yeah, no results. Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, District of Columbia, right? DC. Florida. Oh, Florida's neck and neck. Oh, now it's, before it was Biden winning, now it's Trump winning. Georgia, about equal. Alabama, South Carolina, close. Oh man, North Carolina, very pro-Trump. Virginia, very pro-Trump. West Virginia, about equal. Kentucky, damn, Kentucky, very Trump. Tennessee, wow, Trump. Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, about even in Texas. See if these morons on CNN got their interactive map working yet. Oh, their site must be getting hammered because it won't load. Come on, map, load. Yeah. I mean, it's a link, but just won't open up. Yeah, their site's probably getting drilled, so. I give up on you, Al. Hold on, it's trying. It's trying. So hey, there you go, man. I guess Fox got more bandwidth than CNN, right? Stop that. Let's go to see if anything else is happening.
Chance for the other candidate to overtake.
Stop the music.
South Carolina. Joe Biden, Donald Trump winning in the state of South Carolina, the Palmetto State.
Smile.
The polls closed in South Carolina earlier at 7 o'clock, so it did take a little bit longer than some of these others. But with, 44,000 votes in so far, still very early, just 3% of the expected vote, the AP is saying that is going to be a win for President Trump. Now, just to clarify, we have not yet made any calls in these important states, Florida, in Maine. You can see some of the vote there, though, in the state of Maine.
Find out who's the president soon enough, right? And then one side of people are going to go crazy because their guy's not president.
Although, wait a minute, we did call it a minute ago. Let's get that straight. Yes, we have called.
Can't see the big picture. All right, back to the music. I got to wrap this up. Man, because as annoying as I am to everybody else, my computer screen's probably getting sick of hearing me talk too. All right. Reviews of RTX 3070s. Corsair acquires some webcam applications. SteelSeries unveils new Aero X. There's always some new mouse being revealed, and they're all just the same shit over and over again. Like this. I mean, I like that. I like that they have the let some air get to your palm and all that stuff. I guess that's good, but it's like add some more programmable buttons or something, or do some. I don't know. It's more the same. It's just a different shell. iBase expandable ATX motherboard for 9th gen Intel Core processors. Let's see it. Look at that motherboard. That looks like it's from the 90s. Look at this thing. What's that? 8-pin? 1 8-pin? This, look at this thing. This, what a time warp. I'm surprised it doesn't have a Northbridge chip on it too. It looks so old, but... let me see if anybody in the comments said the same thing. 2004 called, they want their motherboard back. I love these commenters on this website. This is why it's my favorite website. I think these guys do one of the best jobs with the news. They got their good software, they got good databases, and the people that post the comments and stuff, they know their stuff. I like this channel. I mean this website. Sorry. Yeah, I made it to the bottom of their front page for news. Like I was feeling too sick to talk about the when they announced the RDNA 2 stuff. I didn't make any videos about it or say anything about it. I was too sick. I was in a lot of pain, and I started feeling a little bit better when I got 20H2 version of Windows 10, so I made a few videos about that. Be cool if Billy Kay or Oleta Liano, some of the people that I was talking about that are frequent Mike's Discord server, who have access to higher end and better PC parts, if they did YouTube videos on those items. Because I'd be interested to see how an everyday person who's not like a big shot, like, you know, Jay's 2 cents, is like, that guy spends so much money on stupid shit. I'm not hating on Jay and stuff, but that guy's so out of touch. But, yeah, that's why I like Mike's unboxing reviews and how-tos, because the guy, he's a YouTuber that looks at a lot of computer hardware as it pertains to being of value. How good is it for the money? How practical is it for you? And I like to look at things that way too. I mean, even if I was a rich person, one of the things when I was where's my music? More music? Hold on. Let's see why my laptop stopped playing lovely music. Here we go. Yeah, I always wanted to get a I'll show you what it looks like. I always thought that this was one of the most beautiful cars. It's called the Lamborghini Murcielago, which is translates roughly to bat in Espanol or Italian. But there's an SV version, it's the SV version, but this is the classic version right here. And let me see if I can get a good look at this car. But that car, when it cost brand new, was like $400,000. And I always thought if I was filthy rich, I could get that car just because it's beautiful. But I know that it's a huge markup. It's still just a car. Look, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 tires, just like any other car. A car for $20,000 gets you from point A to point B, just like this one. But you could fit more people in it. Has better gas mileage. So, as nice as this car looks for an art piece, like if I was rich, would I want to buy a Lamborghini Murcielago or buy 2 homes for like 2 families or friends that I know? So it's like one of those things. It's like value. Like man, as much as I would like one of those, if I had the money and stuff, like, man, there's no feeling like helping other people like that. Like, that's so rewarding. Like, I have my top most watched YouTube video is such a stupid video where I'm cleaning my house, and I said, you know what, let me clean my I'm gonna clean my computer real quick. So I stopped and I started recording. I was taking the front panel off my Meshify C, and that video has like 100 likes. It doesn't even have a dislike. I'm sure people that hate my channel will go find it and give it dislike eventually, but all these people, like, just for a simple thing, like, all I did was stop cleaning for a moment and say, let me show people how to do this, because I saw a few people do it wrong. And, like, it's my most watched video, and all these people left likes on such a simple thing, and it helped so many people. It's like, and it's the same thing, like, every once in a while I'll be watching on YouTube, and I'll have a little minor problem, and someone will have a video like Mike Seitz. There's a YouTuber named Mike Seitz. He had a video of something really small, but it helped me. I was like, oh, I was annoyed with something, and he had a solution for it. So, yeah, man, that's a material thing. It's like, what do they say? Sometimes when you're like, I was having a catch-22 when I was at my son's kindergarten graduation. I don't want to talk about my son and get all emotional, but I try to get through this quick. I wanted to record the moment to remember it, but I also want to experience the moment. So it's hard for me to, like, do I got to make sure I got on the preview of the phone to make sure I'm capturing him, or do I want to see him with my own eyes? More of me wanted to see him with my own eyes and experience and have the memory here instead of on a hard drive or instead of on a storage media. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, usually when I start talking like this at the end of my and I do this at the end of a lot of my news videos, I start talking about stupid shit where I know people are like, the 2 people that are watching are probably like, James, shut up, stop recording. And you're right. Yeah, I kind of went through the all the tech news on the front page of Tech Power Up, like I like to do, to help me forget about all my ills. And you saw I had a car accident yesterday for my last video. Was in my car, not even moving, and this guy still smacks into me. I can't win. I can't even leave the house without problems finding me. But yeah, I guess I'll cut this off now. I think I yapped long enough, and everybody else can enjoy the all the hoopla surrounding all the hoopla that's going to be surrounding the election. See who's gonna be president, Donald Trump or Joe Biden. So yeah, everybody enjoy all that, and thanks for Billy K for checking in to watch my first live version of my stupid reading the news, recurring reading the news thing. And everybody have a good night.